Hello, my name is James Waldron. I am a student at Aspen University, and I would like to discuss the contingency leadership theory, leadership continuum theory, path goal leadership theory, and leadership substitute theory. I will then discuss how I would implement the path goal leadership theory in my current workplace. So let's start with the contingency leadership theory. The contingency leadership theory, developed by Fred Fiedler, explains that leaders should modify the circumstances of their jobs, not their styles. The contingency leadership model is used to assess whether a person's leadership style is task or relationship oriented, and whether the situation variables of leader-member relationship, task structure, and position power matches the leader's style to maximize performance. Relationship-oriented leaders are more concerned with creating long-term relationships with individuals or organizations, whereas task-motivated leaders focus on achieving a goal. Fiedler's Least Preferred Coworker, or LPC, scale is used to find one's orientation and asks participants to rate the coworker they have the most difficulty with. Low LPC levels have been linked to people who flourish in task-oriented situations, while high LPC scores have been linked to people who thrive in relationship-oriented conditions. Several academics have criticized Fiedler's contingency model, as the paradigm does not allow you to be both relationship and task-focused. Also, many leaders are unable to assess the level of situational variables. On the other hand, Fiedler's approach contributes to theory and practice by providing considerable empirical support for leadership effectiveness impacts. Robert Tannenbaum and Warren Schmidt developed the leadership continuum, which claims that leadership behavior is classified as boss-centered or subordinate-centered. The less participation in decisions and freedom of action that the followers have, the more authoritarian the leader becomes. The more the leader uses a democratic leadership style, the more the followers appreciate participation in decision-making. Tannenbaum and Schmidt identify 7 major leadership styles from which to choose. Based on the use of boss-centered versus subordinate-centered leadership, the leadership continuum model chooses which of the 7 types to apply to maximum performance. The leader's personality and chosen behavioral style are considered, while selecting a leadership style based on experience, expectation, values, and confidence in subordinates. As with the leader, the subordinate's preferred leadership style is dependent on personality and behavior. In general, the greater the willingness and ability of followers to participate, the more participation flexibility should be used, and vice versa. When choosing a leadership style, external factors such as the size, structure, climate, goals, and technology are considered. Another factor to consider is the amount of time available. Making group decisions takes longer. When there isn't enough time for followers to participate in decision-making, the leader adopts an authoritarian leadership style. Leaders can tailor their approach to the needs of the situation. The leadership continuum has been criticized for its idealized nature, as it fails to apply to real-world corporate situations. Instead, it advances theory rather than assisting practitioners. Apart from that, the relationship between the continuum and performance is unclear, and Tannenbaum and Schmidt do not offer a prediction for leadership effectiveness based on style selection. Robert House described the path goal leadership theory as how a leader's primary responsibility is to create paths that lead to the goals of their subordinates and the organization as a whole. The leader is expected to utilize the proper leadership style to motivate the staff to improve their performance through 4 main leadership behaviors: directive, supporting, participative, and achievement-oriented. Directive leaders provide their followers with task directions and instructions that include what they expect and when they should be completed. This style works well in high-pressure work atmosphere where followers must meet tough targets and goals. While employing a demanding leadership style, leaders must maintain warm and approachable connections with subordinates. Supportive leadership emphasizes a follower's human needs and well-being. Subordinates can help the leader by offering thoughts and ideas or participating in significant policy-making and decision-making and implementation processes. Shared decision-making is facilitated through participatory leadership, in which followers are consulted and their thoughts and opinions are included in policy-making. Achievement-oriented leaders communicate their expectations to their people and continually create clear goals with high performance requirements and encourage continuous performance development. The path goal model has been criticized for not being empirically tested enough. The appropriateness of this strategy is limited, since defining proper leadership behavior based on the expectations and requirements of followers is thought to be too difficult for a leader to execute in day-to-day managerial practice. Leadership substitutes theory, developed by Stephen Kerr and John Jameer, includes subordinate, task, and organizational characteristics that either eliminate the need for a leader or negate the leader's actions. Leaders can assess their circumstances and better understand how these three characteristics replace or neutralize their leadership style, allowing them to give the most appropriate leadership for a situation. As a result, substitutes for leadership can be established in organizations to complement existing leadership, function in the absence of leadership, and give more comprehensive leadership alternatives. As a result, substitutes for leadership render leadership styles obsolete or useless. Some companies move to self-managed teams and automation, and highly skilled workers do not require a leader's task behavior to instruct them how to accomplish their jobs. Some components of the theory have been supported by research, but others have not been investigated or proven. According to critics, many of the substitutes' behaviors are replaced by identical leadership behavior carried out by peers or other informal leaders, implying that leadership still exists. The substantial evidence that situational variables can directly affect job satisfaction and motivation is one of the applications of leadership substitutes theory. Changing the situation is a significant application of the substitute theory. Of the four theories I have reviewed in this presentation, I would implement path-goal theory in my current organization. The focus on motivation and goal setting, while maximizing job performance and employee morale, makes this an ideal leadership theory for my organization. My preferred leadership style would be participative, to allow all employees to be empowered, to give input for decision-making, and to identify yearly goal setting based on what they want to achieve and are passionate about. This change of leadership style would require training for people leaders and subordinates for everyone to understand the expectations and benefits of using this theory. Contingency theories build on the work that behavioral leadership researchers started to identify the best leadership style to be used in all situations. While behavioral theories couldn't identify the one best leadership style, contingency theories try to determine which leadership style best fits a given situation, and that one style is not appropriate or effective for every scenario. Contingency theories say that a leader is dependent on the situation and that the leader has to adjust accordingly.